If you've ever thought making the perfect paratha takes too much time, today's recipe is about to change your mind. In the next 10 minutes, you'll learn how to make a crispy, flaky, golden paratha that's incredibly easy, uses simple pantry ingredients, and tastes like it came straight from your favorite breakfast cafe. Along the way, I'll explain the little techniques that make a huge difference, so every bite is soft inside, crisp outside, and packed with fresh, homemade flavor. A great paratha doesn't start in the pan, it starts with the dough. Many people think the secret is expensive ingredients, but professional chefs know it's all about texture. The way you mix, knead, and rest the dough determines whether your paratha becomes chewy, soft, or beautifully flaky. In a large mixing bowl, add 2 cups of all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour, depending on your preference. Add half a teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of cooking oil or melted butter. Mix everything together before slowly pouring in about 3/4 of a cup of warm water. Add the water gradually because different flours absorb moisture differently. As the dough begins to come together, use your hands to knead it for about 5 minutes. At first, it may feel rough, but don't be tempted to add too much extra flour. Continued kneading develops gluten, which creates elasticity and allows the dough to stretch instead of tearing. The finished dough should feel soft, smooth, and slightly springy when pressed. Cover it with a clean towel and let it rest for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Even a short resting period allows the gluten to relax, making the dough much easier to roll while preventing shrinkage. While the dough rests, prepare a simple flavor booster. In a small bowl, combine 2 tablespoons of softened butter or ghee with a pinch of salt. This thin layer of fat between folds creates steam during cooking, producing those irresistible flaky layers everyone loves. Lightly flour your work surface and divide the dough into equal portions. Roll each piece into a smooth ball. Keeping the balls similar in size ensures even cooking and a consistent appearance. Take 1 dough ball and flatten it gently before rolling it into a thin circle. Don't worry about making it perfectly round. What's more important is maintaining an even thickness so the paratha cooks uniformly. Now spread a thin layer of the butter mixture over the surface. This step isn't just for richness. As the butter melts during cooking, it separates the layers and creates the signature flaky texture. Next, fold the dough into pleats, almost like folding a paper fan. Once you've formed a long strip, coil it into a spiral and tuck the end underneath. This simple shaping method creates dozens of delicate layers inside the paratha. Let the spiral rest for another 2 or 3 minutes before rolling it again. Resting prevents the dough from springing back and keeps the layers intact. Now gently roll the spiral into a circle about 7 to 8 inches wide. Avoid pressing too hard. Gentle pressure protects the layers you've worked so carefully to create. Heat a heavy skillet or cast iron pan over medium-high heat. One of the biggest mistakes home cooks make is using a pan that's too cool. If the pan isn't properly heated, the dough dries out before browning, resulting in a tough paratha instead of a tender one. Place the rolled paratha onto the hot pan. Within 30 to 40 seconds, small bubbles should begin appearing on the surface. That's your signal to flip it. Brush the cooked side lightly with butter, ghee, or oil. Flip again and repeat on the other side. Continue cooking while gently pressing around the edges with a spatula. This encourages even contact with the pan and helps every layer cook beautifully. Watch as golden brown spots begin forming across the surface. Those spots are signs of the natural sugars and proteins browning through the Maillard reaction, the same process responsible for the incredible flavors in freshly baked bread, roasted meat, and toasted pastries. When both sides are deeply golden and crisp, remove the paratha from the pan. Give it a gentle clap between your hands or lightly crush it while it's still hot. This separates the layers and creates that beautiful flaky texture you'll often see in restaurant-style parathas. Now let's make this breakfast even more exciting with a quick filling variation. Mash 2 boiled potatoes until completely smooth. Add finely chopped green onions, fresh cilantro, grated cheddar cheese, a pinch of salt, black pepper, red chili flakes if you like a little heat, and a small sprinkle of roasted cumin powder. Mix everything until well combined. Roll another dough ball into a small circle and place a generous spoonful of filling in the center. Gather the edges together and seal them carefully. Turn the sealed side downward and gently flatten it with your hands before rolling it slowly into a medium-sized circle. Rolling too aggressively can tear the dough and allow the filling to escape. Cook the stuffed paratha exactly the same way, flipping several times while brushing with butter or ghee until both sides develop a deep golden crust. As the filling heats, the cheese melts into the potatoes while the herbs release fresh aromas throughout every layer. The result is creamy, savory, crispy comfort food that's perfect for breakfast, brunch, or even a quick dinner. Let's talk about a few professional tips that instantly improve homemade parathas. First, always use warm water when making the dough. Warm water hydrates the flour more efficiently and produces a softer final texture. Second, never overload the dough with dry flour during kneading. Extra flour makes the dough stiff and reduces tenderness. Third, medium-high heat works better than extremely high heat. Cooking too quickly burns the outside before the inside has time to cook completely. Fourth, avoid pressing directly in the center repeatedly with your spatula. Gentle pressure around the edges encourages even puffing while protecting the delicate layers. Another common mistake is skipping the resting stage because you're in a hurry. Even 5 minutes of resting dramatically improves elasticity and makes rolling far easier. It's one of those small steps that delivers professional quality results without adding much time. If you're making several parathas, keep the finished ones wrapped in a clean kitchen towel. This traps just enough steam to keep them soft while preserving their crisp exterior. Parathas are wonderfully versatile. Serve them with creamy yogurt, spicy pickle, scrambled eggs, fresh fruit, avocado, or a simple vegetable salad. They also pair beautifully with soups and curries, making them one of the most adaptable breads in any kitchen. If you're preparing breakfast for the week, partially cook the parathas, let them cool completely, and freeze them between sheets of parchment paper. When you're ready to eat, simply finish cooking them in a hot skillet for a fresh homemade taste in just a few minutes. One of the reasons this recipe has remained popular across generations is its balance of simplicity and satisfaction. With only a handful of everyday ingredients, you can create something that feels comforting, impressive, and deeply homemade. Cooking isn't about perfection. Every paratha teaches you something new. Maybe today's one isn't perfectly round, or maybe the layers aren't exactly how you imagined. That's completely normal. Every batch improves your technique, and before long, you'll be making flaky restaurant-quality parathas with complete confidence. The best recipes aren't the most complicated ones. They're the recipes that fit naturally into everyday life, bring people together around the table, and turn simple ingredients into unforgettable meals. This easy 10-minute paratha recipe does exactly that. So the next time you're wondering what to make for breakfast, remember this quick recipe. Crispy on the outside, soft and flaky on the inside, endlessly customizable, and made with ingredients you probably already have at home. It's proof that delicious homemade food doesn't have to be difficult. If you enjoyed this recipe and learned something new today, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another easy, delicious recipe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Kitchen IQ adventure.